there'll be other casters there as well. Let's go to Battleground at number 2 in this best of 5 series. As we'll be gearing up for Battlefield of Eternity. Method with the choice, Granit Gaming with first pick.
This is so funny to me to see that as the map now, because that was the old school map for Team Expert, which was of course the same lineup. ADRD's team, I mean, back in the first season of HGC in 2017 when we started, gosh.
I don't know what word you're going for.
Blade, when we had Blade on the team as well, so like the old school team.
Gosh, that was back in the day.
Yeah, they played a very aggressive style with Medivh, Kerrigan on Battlefield and stuff like that. So
don't forget about the Probius game too.
Yeah.
That's the one that always came to mind for me.
It was super fun, and Battlefield was just their map where they could just brawl and team fight all game long, and that was really their style. So seeing them choose this map now for the first one is just, it's a bit nostalgic.
That was when they had an affinity for really weird comps. They ran Ziba Azul, and I remember that became meta for like 2 weeks actually. A couple other teams ran that.
They played a ton of Ragnaros back then.
Nova,
we had them with
Braxis,
Kerrigan.
Yeah. All right, BOE. Let's go into it here. Is Granit Gaming thinking about their ban? Would they consider taking away a powerhouse like Medivh? Or are normal compositions something that you ban out now if you're playing against Method? Abathur seems to be a choice for them as they will delete him from BOE.
Abathur is a fair ban. Method likes to play Abathur. We've seen Abathur banned on this map a lot. Again, Abathur is always going to play a huge role in the European meta. I'm also interested in what the first 3 picks are going to be for them, because I still feel that Medivh, Sonya were a little bit cute. I mean, it's not necessarily bad picks by any means, but if you look at the strong established meta, then oftentimes Blaze is highlighted more. I usually go for Malfurion a little bit faster. They let those drop, and they ended up with a pretty decent draft, but I want to see if they're trying to pick more things away from Method.
Did you happen to see ADR's tweet yesterday about his hero pool? If you go to Hot's logs and actually pick the lowest 4 win rate heroes, they are all the heroes that he mains. Hanzo, Tassadar, Abathur, and Medivh.
Just showing again that you should never believe in Hot's logs.
It's a helpful tool. It's a good community thing, but
depends on what you look at.
You can't put your stock into it.
Depends on what you look at there. That's definitely good information there. But we have a couple of other tools for that as well. All right, Garrosh being banned out.
Boom.
Like that.
Typical.
And now, I mean, at this point the question simply is, okay, Tracer, that's fine as well. I was more wondering along the lines of Malfurion maybe being a first pick or heading into Blaze.
Or Hanzo.
Yeah, Hanzo for the map. This is actually one of those moments when you don't know what Method is going to pick. You have 3 heroes that really you look at now, Malfurion, Blaze, and Hanzo. So are they going to pick 2 out of the 3? Are they going to add something else here? With Hanzo, you have a lot of the objective control on the map. Blaze is fantastic not only for the solo lane at the start, but also for the team fight as we saw in the last game. And then you have Malfurion, of course, that you would like to deny to Tracer, and that would also add a lot of control for yourself.
You have to take Hanzo and Malf, right? Malf to take away from Tracer, Hanzo because he clears out the Immortal phase. They don't. They go straight into Genji and Malfurion. What happened to the Hanzo? He destroys Immortals. Are you scared of Tracer and Genji just diving you? Maybe this has been really effective in scrims, where you get both of them on one team?
Yeah, I mean, maybe. I mean, at this point, we have seen a huge priority on Genji throughout every tournament.
True.
It's still the mobility that he offers, the quick rotations between the lanes, even though in this map, of course, they're spaced out quite heavily, but he can still gank the top lane. And yeah, there's a huge threat level with Genji, especially if Hanzo's on the other side, you can jump him too.
Yeah.
Not going to see any combo with Uther here, but Malfurion allows you to drop the heal on him before he engages. So yeah, I don't mind it too much, but they definitely signal with this early pick already that they're not simply trying to run down the Immortal faster than their opponent. So it's not going to be a composition that is determined to outpace on the Immortal race.
You're ready to jab back. The best part about grabbing Genji here is you think, okay, Granit Gaming, do you want to grab Hanzo here? Because now we have the ability to dive you, and we can kind of supplement our drop that later. And Granit Gaming says no. Instead, they go with a safer pick. They move into Li Ming and Muradin. Li Ming gives you a little bit more mobility, and of course some decent poke as well. And then you always have that ability to get a couple of resets and kind of destroy a team fight.
I would still expect them to ban Hanzo out, though.
Yeah, agreed. Now I think you ban it.
If you don't pick him here, then it's very likely that you're going to ban him out. Then again, you could also always make the argument of banning Blaze out instead.
True.
Like, I feel Blaze is just a super safe pick in any composition that you play. It doesn't matter which map you run, it doesn't matter which composition you run. If you have Blaze as your offlaner, you know you have the wave clear on the offlane you can use. Bunker is a fantastic tool, especially since we're currently not looking at the live version, but the tournament version with the REL patch that just came in. And so that means that the cooldown is still not on 60 seconds. So we still are looking at the old cooldown here. And that just adds so much. You can use it twice in a long team fight if you drop it early on in when the battle starts. So I would be surprised if Blaze doesn't get banned or picked next.
Blaze is such a strong pick. He makes Kerrigan viable as a hero, which is something that you typically don't see a lot because you're able to go in for a combo, you drop down the bunker, Kerrigan jump into it, and she has an escape. You literally give her an escape.
Where's that coming from?
That came from last phase when we saw Method run it 3 times. It was awesome. I'm just trying to paint a picture of how strong Blaze is.
Okay.
You don't have to say Kerrigan is bad here at all. This isn't a conversation we have to have. I'm just saying it happened.
I mean, there was also Shrimpy trying to show off the hero when they were in a setup where they knew they would win the games, you realized.
I'm just saying,
Blaze
is a good hero, all right?
Yeah, Blaze is a good hero. That's not the
And
point I was
he made
contesting
Kerrigan
here.
good. It's math, 1-1, 2.
Okay, if we have Blaze and Kerrigan being picked in this draft, you're gonna get a cookie.
No, I'm not for this map. I'm just saying an overall. I wouldn't go Blaze Kerrigan here. Why would you do that?
Okay, I'm gonna up you one. Blaze is such a good hero. He makes Brightwing look good.
Brightwing's insane. You're just a hater.
Rightfully so.
I have like a 70+ win rate with her.
We had a reverse draft at mid-season brawl where Brightwing was the first pick because they said this hero is so garbage. There's no way you can make that thing look good.
Or maybe they just wanted to see her again. Maybe that wasn't the thought process. Okay, we didn't interview them. We can't
Did you hear
confirm
the story
true.
why they never picked Brightwing for the opponent's team after the first map?
There's a story? Let's
Yeah,
hear
that's
it.
the story. I asked them, why didn't you pick Brightwing for them again? And they actually said the reason why they didn't pick Brightwing for the opponent's team again is because they wanted to give them a chance. And they said they're going to pick every...
You're making this up.
No, I'm not making this up. I am not making this up. Ask them. They actually said we wanted to give them a chance. We didn't want to give them the same trash heroes every single game.
Can somebody in the HGC play Brightwing just to shut Caldora up? Because he's been allowed to say this for months, and I'm tired of it. Like,
the thing is,
Brightwing is not that horrible.
Oh yeah.
I think Lucio's worse than Brightwing.
Yeah, and A proved that yesterday, but that doesn't
Exactly.
make Brightwing good. The thing is, Blizzard is going to buff Brightwing at one point, and then she's going to be full in the meta, and I have to be every game and say like, I wish they would pick Brightwing here. But right now, I don't have to, so I'm going to enjoy every single second of that until she gets buffed.
Such a hater, man. Such a hater.
Oh, I definitely.
Blaze and Hanzo comes out, so we get one out of the 2. Not quite Kerrigan.
No, we got...
But Hanzo still
we got
just
both
beautiful.
of the heroes that I wanted, at least. We have Blaze, it didn't get banned out, they banned Hammer instead, and then Hanzo was also open. So yes, we didn't get Kerrigan Tim. Congratulations.
Thank you.
But we still have now the wave clear. Now this is one of the reasons why we basically expected Hanzo to be banned, but yeah, Hammer has been making a big wave for like a bit splash in the meta. So now we see her banned out instead.
I mean, to be fair, Tracer gets chunked by Hammer, and then she never gets in a spot where she's used a recall or used too many blinks. BFG comes out, and that's a dead Tracer.
And I mean, you have the tools here on the side of Method as well. So.
Yeah.
But still, that draft is looking crazy. You have Blaze, you have Hanzo, Malfurion in that mix now. Benny needs still his hero. We have, I mean, Muradin is already taken away. Could go into Johanna. What else we're looking at? I'm missing one here.
HGC safe here.
I was for a second thinking about, but they're not going to play with a Nubarak there.
Yeah,
I mean, they could try and follow up with Blaze, but I don't really think that's going to be a thing.
I mean, you could do a Nubarak to Kun Li Ming, but it's kind of difficult to hit that because she can teleport out of it. Yeah, it's a bit of a risk. Johanna safe, ETC doable, especially on this battleground if you're able to play around the Immortal defense, which they may have to do here. What are we picking? Tyrael!
Okay, more shields. There's a lot of defense that they have there.
Yeah. Allows Genji to kind of do his thing here. Because I look at the composition here of Granit Gaming. If they're able to control Genji, I actually think they're pretty scary. They have a lot of good poke, especially around the Immortal phase, for trying to burn it down a little bit and try to force their opponents to make a mistake. But with you getting Tyrael there, get that protection, so now Method has the ability to say, we want to fight now, and just go straight ahead.
Yeah, you have the bunker, you have Tyrael with the shields, Malfurion for heals here. Could even go... I mean, we're very likely going to see Twilight Dream here, but if you want to have Sustain extra on top of that, you can go Tranquility too. So, yeah, Tyrael is actually pretty good. I have to admit, I didn't have him on my mind when I looked at the draft. That's the potential last pick, but looking at it, yeah, it fits pretty nicely.
He's one of those heroes that I never have on my mind until he gets picked. Like that and Maiev are usually the two that...
Yeah.
Because I'm so used to Maiev being banned all the time, and then when Maev's not played, he just never gets looked at. And then when they pop in, they're really, really strong. But Tyrael being here, I kind of like it.
Yeah. Especially against what they have here. If you have, for example, Thrall coming in towards the end and, you know, dropping an Earthquake or anything, we can really negate a lot of the engage that he brings with the Sanctification. So, her pick, I actually think Method is just on a execution level a little bit too tough to beat right now. I mean, there's definitely tools for Granit Gaming to take this if Tracer and Li Ming work well at getting their target, and if they can, for example, jump onto Hanzo somehow. You still have a Karazim with a potential 7-sided that we could use there too.
Yeah.
I'm just not sure if the synergy for Granit Gaming is there yet. It's still like the first HGC game for them as a team, and there's a little bit more experience that I feel they need as a 5-man.
Well, let's go to game number 2 and see if Granit Gaming can pull this off. A poke composition with the ability to start resetting. Here on the left, Wolf Joe playing Karazim, Nande on Li Ming, Memecraft to play Tracer, Darkmok on Thrall, and Raid Boss to play Muradin.
And over to the right side of the map, we have a Method in the lead at this point with 80 already now on Hanzo. We have Bad Benny on Tyrion with a frontline pick. Nick, of course, on the damage. This time means Genji for him. And Thero finds himself on Blaze for the offlane. And Kirsten again on Malfurion.
I may have a question that probably shouldn't be asked, but Memecraft, is he the son of Benedict Cumberbatch? Because he looks just like him.
How did you know?
Like, is that like a legit thing?
Yeah, of course.
Like, look at the photo the next time that we introduce him.
No, he's definitely the son. Like, he has so much money that he's just like simply saying, you know, I'm going to do
Sherlock Holmes' son?
He's Sherlock Holmes' son.
That is bonkers. I'm going with that. That's canon from now on. What is Karazim doing, by the way? Oh, he's protecting against the well. A lot of Genji players, until they show up on the map, will actually run over and take down the well, and it forces you to come back, so Karazim just waiting for it.
No, that's not the thing. He's actually AFK, and he's going to get reported really soon.
That's possible. Wolf Joe does strike me as that kind of person.
All right, so we confirmed that Memecraft is Doctor Strange. You heard it here first. And with that in mind,
I believe in it.
We're having Nick still hiding, but by now they already know that Genji is not going to make that move. So Karazim is starting to move onto the map. Nick has shown himself up at the top. Darkmok is now also know what's going on here. But yeah, Method already with, like, Method playing with vision here. I really like the Karazim move, but it's also Method playing a lot with the vision on the map to make sure that, for example, Thrall doesn't get too far out on lane. And it makes it a lot harder for Thrall also to start stacking if a hero plays his cards well, especially, of course, if he puts his own hero onto minions that are really low in HP so that they can't be one-shotted by the Chain Lightning. But still, we have Darkmok already with 6 stacks, so that's not too shabby.
Not too bad. Trying to finish that off before the Immortal phase would be good for him. Granit Gaming starting to fight back here in the bottom lane as we have the little dance toe-to-toe here. We do have the Stormbolt build here for Muradin, that level 1 pickup as mentioned, looking to get that extra damage. Against your opponent, sure, you got some decent poke coming your way, but being able to stop them in your tracks if you're able to land a Stormbolt and get that damage nice and amplified up will allow Granit Gaming a little bit closer to those resets, so doesn't mind going that direction.
I mean, one of the questions that you always have on this map is if you're already spec in your level 1, are you still going into your Reverberation on level 4? Are you going into the extra damage against the Immortal to stack up on that? I mean, traditionally, you would still want to have the Thunderclap synergy between your level 4 and level 13 talents, but we have seen occasionally, especially on the Korean side, if they really want to go for the burst damage against the objective, to go for the level 4 as well.
We'll find out soon.
I don't really expect it, but it can be fun.
It can be. And it does help out with that rush, but you have to be really careful. You do lose a lot of that takiness.
Yeah.
And there it is.
Yeah, it just goes in normal Thunderclap. It's just, you give up too much. Like, the big synergy, of course, with the Thunderburn is that the Thunderclap explodes a second time. And what you really want that for is for your healing static once it comes in on level 13, because that gives you an insane amount of sustain then. And very few players will be willing to give up on that. The third wind on level 1 and going instead into the perfect storm is a bit of a compromise there, where you still get damage out, but you will lose a lot of your sustain if you give up the level 4 as well.
Granit Gaming setting up the defense. With Mercs pushing out the top lane, Karazim's going to push out the bottom and try and get some turrets, but Method sees that opportunity and they go straight for it. They dive straight on the Nande. ADRD comes to the side. Boom! There's some arrows. Karazim seems to be next. Wolf Joe able to dash away thanks to a minion wave showing up. Raid Boss trying to buy some time and get someone stunned here. And the Immortal, and he actually gets it there. So Memecraft comes in and drops a Pulse Bomb. There's no way they're going to get this kill. And Method immediately counters back.
Yeah, Thrall, on the other hand, is completed now with his own quest very early in the game, so he had a bit more space up to the top lane since everyone else was committed to the brawl here. So we have at least his level 1 there, so he can start poking, which is especially going to be great against the backline. Misses the Wolf at this point, so he can't really lock anyone down. Nick dodging around, but the halftime show has been won, so Method is in the lead. That forces Granit Gaming to defend. Li Ming is still available for poke. Wolfjo could commit to it too with Karazim, but they definitely need to make sure that they guard their own Immortal.
Nande poking where he can, raid boss by in that time. Memecraft being a little bit careful. Thrall's coming around the corner here. They could find a Wolf on Genji. That could be a kill, but Nick immediately jumps away, just playing it safe. As Method will take their time and poke away, but they got to be careful. Nande's starting to get a little bit of traction here on the Immortal. And eventually Method, they get raid boss low enough, and they just turn around and they burn this Immortal. They'll be able to take it away pretty darn quickly. ADRD with that scatter arrow build comes in, and there it is.
Yeah, it was a pretty easy one for Method. Thrall showed at the top lane, so they knew that he wasn't there. They saw that their own Immortal was losing hit points, so a second player was not really waiting for the defense, so they could just fully commit to it and rushed in right away. And as you said, that's where Raid Boss simply has to retreat. He can't really do anything alone but slow them down slightly. So Method gets the first Immortal. Roughly 50% shields. Should at least be able to drop through the wall here, but in experience they have already taken a lead, and that's an early level 7 here for Method that they can now use to make this push even stronger.
Gosh, Sylvan 4 on Genji is always so strong against Tracer, getting the extra damage. If you're able to hit that max into a Swift Strike, getting her low on health, and she has to back up, which allows for Method to keep going in. Nande also taking that Swift Strike as Nick keeps going in there, dodging out in the Stormbolt too, which means Method can keep chasing. Bad Bidding goes in, gets behind this fort, and on this first push, Method are able to take away a fort from their opponents.
And they do something that they have already shown on the last map on Infernal Shrines. They use the first objective, last game was the Punisher, now we have the Immortal, to go really deep and jump behind the fort, and it was well done by Nick in particular. So he goes in, dodges the Stormbolt, and then that moment you know that there is no lockdown potential anymore for Granit Gaming once the cooldown was used. And that's where everyone else starts to move past the fort as well. Now Benny is a bit too deep here and gets picked off towards the end, but if you just look at experience and how that worked out, it's still all good for Method. And one of the reasons why Benny was this far out is that he was trying to anchor the camp attack that we just saw from ADRD and Curson here. So he was pushing this out, went a bit too far with it and fell, but they still get the mercenary camp at the bot lane and have the double push at the top.
He was also trying to drop shields on those minions too, to get a little more shots there to see maybe they can get a turret, but gets completely punished as Granit Gaming finds that kill, thanks to that Pulse Bomb and Memecraft coming on in. However, as you mentioned, the results still look fine for Method. 9 and 8.25 here in experience, almost 8.5 for Granit Gaming. Method should be on their way towards level 10 before the next Immortal phase. Might be a close one. They may have to consider dancing around the Immortal for a little bit and soak on the sign, but Method looking great. Yeah,
they're looking really good here. And of course, for them, the next goal is going to be level 10. Up to the top lane. Nick, he knows what's happening here. The question is the rotation fast enough? And right now, it looks very much like it will be. So we already have Blaze moving in Interior too. Granit Gaming will probably... they just barely grab it. The question is, can they get the kill against Curson as well? Yes, they can. They take him down. That's fantastic for Granit Gaming right now.
Especially with them not having Karazim.
Yeah.
Constantly poking here. Darklock maybe going a little bit too far. Gets the kill at the last second from the Frost with Resilience. Still don't have that healer. Bad Benny wants to chase. Drop down the Yellow Druid. The Smite comes in, and Method gets their own kill as well.
Yeah, Darkmonk turning around there. He might have been able to get away if he would have been more decisive in moving out of the situation. But now we have level 10, so it's an even trade. The camp's still taken by Granit Gaming. But thanks to Karazim at the bot lane, they should be able to grab their own level 10, at least towards the halftime show.
Yeah, pushing the minion wave. We'll have that set up for the camp they're grabbing now, which will head to the bottom. They can get a turret that will give them that experience they need to grab level 10. Method, however, takes their small advantage they have, and they start to clear out this Immortal phase. ADRD is here to drop down a few arrows, and we'll be in the halftime show.
Important here to note also is that Benny just moved down to grab the rest of the experience on the lane. So that's definitely something that you can also transfer into your own play. If you're going for an objective and you realize that your opponent is not contesting it aggressively and you see a wave moving in towards the towers on any lane, definitely move out a little bit and try to catch that experience. It's super important here for Method to make that happen so that they stay ahead. And those are really small things, like grabbing a wave or two can make all the difference towards trying to open up a window where you have a talent lead over your opponent or to make sure that they don't get an advantage.
That's right. Game sense. Understanding what your opponent has to do and punishing them for it is one thing that you can do to really kind of level your play, go from a good player to a great player. Method buying some time here on the right. Stormbolt comes out. Nick will use an X-Strike just to make sure he doesn't get picked off. Raid Boss gets low on health, but Method keeps poking away. ADRD from afar, sieges, and knowing their opponents aren't grabbing the Punisher or the Immortal at all, they'll go ahead and do it slowly. But here's Memecraft going straight for Ethereal.
Yeah, Ethereal is moving, like, he didn't get hit by Darkmoke's Wolf on Thrall, so that was important for him, so it didn't get locked down. I mean, he still has all his cooldowns ready, so he could have dropped the bunker, worst comes to worst. That didn't happen. Darkmoke missing another Wolf there, as Bad Benny is juking him out. And Darkmoke committed 2 Sundering, so there's definitely now the attempt to set something up, but you can tell that all the poke that we see from Method is just really making it difficult for Granit Gaming to get any foothold on this game. Again, we have an Immortal in favor of Method. They already have the level lead, and now with another 50% shield Immortal, they can just move to the top lane and try and drop the second fort.
However, with that Sundering being picked, as you mentioned, there's always the potential for Granit to come in and go for a flank, try to force a fight behind.
Yeah.
The Immortal that will be pushing in that top lane, so Method needs to be aware of that, and they are. Bad Benny is anchoring on the side, Curson watching the bush as well, Genji even finding Thrall, as Granit Gaming comes in for the fight.
Sanctification used here, and all of a sudden Granit Gaming is on the run. They haven't committed to any heroic abilities just yet, though. And that's actually great for them, because Arrow was committed to Bunker as well, and the Sanctification. That's a whole lot of cooldowns that was just burned by Method, and that might give Granit Gaming the engage they're looking for. Darkmoke gets palmed, throws out the Sundering. That didn't hit anyone. Benny's on the move back, but Granit Gaming still has to deal with the Immortal here.
The Immortal keeps walking forward, and they're starting to group up. Ethereal has that jet propulsion up pretty darn soon. He's going to be careful and waiting to go in for that fight. The turrets get focused down. Waiting here to see if we're going to have Bad Benny go for an aggressive play. Without level 13 being up, it looks like the answer is going to be no. And they'll allow the Immortal to focus on the turret. There we go. 13 connects, and Method is out.
And it's a big win for Method. They take the fort and they take the wall at the keep. That means we're looking now at a 2-level lead nearly, maybe 1.5. But the talent advantage alone is already fantastic. So now they can just simply move in, take the next camp, try and paint the map red, and work towards the next objective. So this is pretty much a game like clockwork. In kills, not really a difference there, 2 kills each, but Method is just running the macro game much better than Granit Gaming does, so they're doing this extremely well, soaking the lanes, soaking the experience, and more so than anything else, controlling the objective.
Yeah, they're in a pretty relaxed state right now with that talent lead. Just need to make sure they don't have anyone overextending. Nick hiding in the showers, trying to soak from afar that experience just close enough.
Where's Nick hiding in the shower?
In the shadows. The shadows. I mean, he might be in the shower. I don't judge. You can play your game wherever you want, man.
Battlefield of Eternity is such a nice map. There's showers as well. I didn't even know that. I thought it was just like hellfire, you know, on one side.
Now I want a battleground full of shadows. Now I can't. Now the words just completely rotated. Showers, bubble baths, rubber duckies,
and genital lyric.
There you go. That would be perfect.
Yeah, it would be the perfect map for that.
That would be the biggest launch in Heroes of the Storm history.
You think Heroes 2.0 was a big thing? Screw that. Heroes. What do we call that?
Bath time with Heroes of the Storm.
Oh my god, I like it.
That's perfect, right?
Yeah.
Little duckies will be the minions walking through lanes. You gotta clear them up. They all quack when you kill them.
Bathrooms of the Storm.
Bathrooms of the Storm.
It's fantastic. I love it.
I'm in.
Yeah, I definitely like it.
Get on it, Blizzard. That and our announcer packs. The 2 things that we need in this game.
I honestly want someone with Photoshop skills to make this sick map. Put Genital Oregon in it.
It's gotta be a 3-lane map. No more 2 lanes.
But as things are starting to get a bit more serious on the map here, as both of the teams are facing towards the objective again.
And hiding in the shadows.
Yeah, not the showers. Let's forget about those for a moment. We're having Vision definitely being played with. But the top lane, that's really where Granit Gaming will have to react eventually to that camp pushing. And they're trying to make an aggressive move down here for that very reason, because they don't want to fall behind again. But just look at that insane poke we have the entire time.
Yeah,
Ethereal with the oil spill, lighting it up, and then also, of course, the scatter arrows. Granit Gaming is in so much trouble here, again, even though they have the same talent.
What's interesting to me is I actually thought Granit Gaming in this draft had some good poke themselves between Li Ming and Thrall, but Method is really just kind of outclassing them now. With 13 finally hitting, though, Granit Gaming is in a spot where they can try and force a fight. Darkmoke consistently is looking for that flank with his Sundering, but Bad Benny and Nick have him locked down.
Just watch, once Thrall shows, we will have immediate move by Method. Thrall is on the map, and immediately Method with the Zero starts to move more aggressively towards the Immortal. We're having 2 heroes splitting down to the bottom lane and claiming the wave. and the halftime show is reached. So it's all about the information here. You play in a poke battle, your opponent plays with vision as well, and then once you see a hero on lane showing and dealing with a camp that you set up as a threat towards the top lane, the other side of the map, then you make your move.
It's starting to get risky. Granit needs to make something happen. Arrow comes out, it does whiff, so Granit Gaming jumps in. Stormbolt pops, it does not connect either. Nick comes in with a little bit of harassment on the back line, do some damage to Nande, but Memecraft on Bad Benny trying to welt him down and get that pulse bomb up.
Raid Boss is in trouble here, needs to be careful. The stun circles come out again. Good combo by Nanda. Hitting the shots here against Bad Benny, but still Granit Gaming is on the run here as Blaze completes his quest talent now too. Method is just looking strong here, and they haven't really committed too many heroic abilities yet either. Only the arrow on Hanzo was shot.
They still know how to dance around the map. This tug of war they consistently win on, but Granit Gaming is running out of time. They lose this Immortal, that's going to be a key, especially with that big wave in the bottom lane.
Yeah, there's a massive wave moving in, and that is going to do some damage, and it's also a lot of experience that you lose. Bad Benny, on the other hand, gets completely locked down here, but a nice sanctification negates the Sundering. The jet propulsion against Raid Boss, and down the Dwarf goes. He's dead.
Wolf Joe might be next here. He does have Divine Palm. He's waiting for that last single minute, but the X-Strike comes out, and he didn't expect it, so he loses out on using the Palm. Two members for Granit Gaming fall, and Method will turn their attention to the top lane here. They're trying to take out Nande before they clear out the Immortal.
Yeah, and Nande should also fall here. I mean, there's no way that he gets out of this one. Nick with a kill here. Malfurion actually, Kirsten committing the final blow. But now just look at the gap in experience. Again, we're looking at a close to 2-level lead with a level 16 talent coming in very soon. And that is going to be a very, very healthy Immortal. Even the camp stolen away here. So even more time bought. Another tool taken away from Granit Gaming as a Method. Showing their killer instincts once again is looking strong. 5 kills against 2 now.
Method is well equipped here to end the game. With an Immortal pushing in that bottom lane, going straight for that keep. It's already been opened up a little bit earlier there. Method should be able to initiate whenever they would like. They just got to watch out for a flank. Murden and Tracer are already thinking about going for said flank, but without Thrall being here, I don't see them getting it done successfully.
Yeah, Holy Ground now, of course, always a great zoning tool with that push that we see here.
True.
The Burning Halo coming in as well on the 16. And this is just a fantastic position for Method to be in, because here you can theoretically even try and end the game if you grab a kill. You definitely want the keep, but if you can take a kill in this, for example against Dartmoor here, you would go for more. Nick, on the other hand, gets deleted as the fight starts. Granit Gaming with a fantastic flank.
They use everything they can on him, and they needed to. That pick is going to help out a lot. But Method continuing to shell away. Here comes an arrow. It hits Li Ming on the back with no follow-up.
They might save that.
Yeah.
Nah, probably not. Could be close, but with Method pushing in, I mean, this one should definitely fall. Already down to 50% HP. Still shelling away from the back line. Here comes the attack against Benny. Benny wants to go into the bunker, and he reaches it barely. Tracer is down. Raid Boss low. AD already is firing away, and they are finally taking down Muradin as well. All of a sudden, it's a 2-for-1 trade in favor of Method as they're marching towards the core itself.
Identification comes out too, just to keep Bad Benny alive. The Immortal starts to hit the core, but it expires right when it gets there. Shields are still up for Granit Gaming. And with 3 members here for defense and Li Ming, the fear of being wiped or even have a couple picks coming in for Method is very real. They decided to go ahead and back up, play it safe, and just run with catapult pressure.
They were pretty low already when it came to hit points in particular, so they moved away for now. But it's also Granit Gaming reaching level 16 soon. So this is one of those weird moments where you dominated most of the game. You've taken every single objective, but you still have to be careful because your opponent is hitting that important level 16 milestone. And once you hit 16 and your opponent isn't 20 yet, that's even fights, and a lot of them usually. So we're probably going to see another objective where Granit Gaming can contest and could turn things around here. It's just going to be rough, since I don't really expect Method to give up on the macro advantage that they have been running the entire time. Every time the objective comes on, they really time their camps well, and they play very nicely around the vision that Granit Gaming gives them. So Method is very unlikely to... this is their game to lose at this point. With one keep already down, them not losing a fort, this is definitely a moment where they just have to play it smart.
There's 3 talents, though, that come online at 16 that make me really happy for Granit Gaming if they're able to find the fight that they want. Being able to have the extra Dwarf Toss range, allowing for Raid Boss to dive in with Wave 100 Fist and a Mirror Ball, means they can blow up a target, but it's all about whether or not Method relinquishes that control they have that you just mentioned. Memecraft goes in, puts a Pulse Bomb on Bad Benny, but he will be fine. But look at this bottom lane. Minions pushing in, catapults hitting the core. Yeah,
and catapults have already locked onto this. This is actually going to take down some of the hit points as well from the looks of it. And the Immortal is spawning in 8 seconds. So even though someone has to go back, it already means that they are going to lose out on the first few seconds on the next objective. And this is an objective they can't lose.
The objective already being lost, though.
Yeah.
Method's starting to clear it up instantly. They see throw on the bottom, 3 on the top.
I mean, at this point, you lose the halftime show, but you basically know already heading into the objective, you need to win the team fight. There's no way around that. You already have lost the control of the bot lane as your keep gets taken down and the catapults are pushing in. So you need to force a team fight and you need to win it. That's the only thing that you can do here. And Granit Gaming, they know that as well. This is the only chance that they have to come back into this. If they take the team fight now, and if they dominate it.
And once again, Method can play the slow game, poking away, using Hanzo, dropping some scatter arrows, Darkmok, and Nande step up. They are trying to fight on Method's side of the map.
The last thing that Method wants to do now is take a quick fight.
Yeah.
They want to delay this. They want to poke the entire time. They want to take it easy, look if there's an opportunity, and they can play this slow. And that's exactly what they're doing. Great damage already coming out from them. They can retreat again. Nande's already low. But they can just poke and watch the bot lane push out and threaten the core again.
It goes in, Darkmok's on the sides, Invocation pops out, and we have a dead Murd, and Bad Benny continuing to chase here. Drops on the Holy Ground while ADRD will work in a couple of scatter arrows. They're going straight for the Immortal. Granit Gaming has to make a decision now. They have to go in, but Memecraft can't find the angle.
Yeah, and there once again, Darkmok in trouble. Li Ming is down, but Thrall will fall too. Down he goes. And now the attempted kill against Bad Benny, that's not going to happen. Wolfjoy is also eliminated. Karazim dead and Memecraft on the run. This is going to be lights out. Not even the recall is going to save him here. Nick is immediately on point. And with that, they can simply move down to the bot lane. Catapults are already locking onto the core as Method is aiming for the 2-0 lead in the best of 5 series.
Nick showing how amazing Genji can be against Wave on her fist. Uses the deflect to counter and get a couple of pickoffs there. Finally able to clean up his opponent, and the rest of Method, as you mentioned, goes straight for the core, and they'll take it down pretty darn quickly. Right before level 20 hits, Method will take a 2-0 lead over Granit Gaming.
Great play again by them. Controlling the macro game and the flow of the game was probably what impressed me there the most. But also on an individual level, we had some really good fights that they showed.
Yeah.
Nick again showing that he's one of the best range players that we, or assassin players in general, damage dealers that we have in Europe. And it was a great game by Method. They are just showcasing how strong they are and how much potential this team has.
It just really shows that there's a benefit here of an old roster coming back together. They seem to be on the same page there. Some of their old ways, their old methods of playing the game has come back into fruition. They're controlling the Immortal phase. My favorite part there is whenever they saw their opponent coming in for an aggressive engage, they as a unit would just back up and get that concave. And that's something that's kind of trained over time. So that's been brought back from what we saw in 2017.
Yeah, exactly. I really like the way that they presented themselves here so far. Now, Granit Gaming has shown, what I really liked from Granit Gaming was actually every single time they were down an important talent and there was a difficult push coming in, they find a kill. They did it on Infernal Shrines where they took the top fight and had a great engage there in a 14 versus 16 situation. And we had a very similar spot with the Immortal moving through the bottom lane where they blow up Nick immediately. That was actually well done. Now, they lost the fight then in the long run as the Immortal continued to push in. But them having the ability to set up these traps where they are getting somehow important picks, it's really something where it shows that small moment of genius that can really just decide a game in your favor.
Yeah.
Not so in the 2 matches that we saw now against Method, but it shows the potential of the lineup where they can say, okay, we are able to set these traps up and we are able to win even fights where we are behind in talents and in experience.
The next step is to go from getting a kill to getting kills and then being able to, of course, take the map from there. We'll be right back after a commercial break with game number 3.